Hello everyone, this is Plague Doctor coming at you again from the Breachers VRML on the VRML Network channel. Hope you're all doing well so far tonight. We're going to be getting into a very exciting match to end off Week 8 of VRML Season 4 for Breachers. Acer versus Valor. If we've seen this matchup now 4 times, this will be the 4th. 3 times, this will be the 4th. Over this entire season so far. We saw Valor win at the beginning of the season 17-13 and then lose 14-6, 14-7 on their next matchups. We'll see if Valor can get it back this time. Maybe finish it out on a good note and get a good win going. We'll see if they can. Bans today are going to be Skyscraper as well as Mall. We will not be seeing Mall. So it looks like our first map is going to be decided relatively soon. I'm excited to get into this pretty quickly. It's going to be a great matchup, I can already tell. Reaching out to the teams, but what I'm really interested in seeing from these two teams is some fantastic gunplay. We haven't been seeing a ton of that from some recent teams, so I want to see some fantastic, quick peeks, things like that. Especially with the pistols and SMGs, I've been missing a lot of those just quick peeks and things that we normally don't see from lower tier gameplay. We're going to get into it relatively soon. It looks like our first map is going to be Hideout. Let's get into it. Hideout. It's going to be an interesting map. Acer typically has a good record on Hideout. Valor last season did not have a fantastic record on Hideout. We'll see if they can get it back this time. So far, we have Acer starting on defense, Valor starting on offense. A lot of interesting loadout. We do see, obviously, all spectral. We don't see a lot of differences from normal gameplay so far. However, we do see a good amount of utility on the Acer side, which we like to see. Unfortunately, actually, we don't see 2 incendiaries, and we actually do see a Taurus coming out on Tech 9 rather than a Spectral. Let's see if that works out for them. Drones, obviously, coming out from Valor, going from Crimson to Red, trying to get any information they can. Valor trying to push out on Garage, it seems, but Acer is going to reply with 2 people roaming an upstairs garage. Tung Tung Sahur and Hotline holding it down. Drone goes down immediately. Packard pushes in, gets taken out by Tung Tung. Jims takes out Hotline. Tung Tung Sahur pushes back towards the bottom stairs. And now Valor does have full claim over Garage, but both teams lost a player, and Valor is actually down on health compared to Acer. So far, a good pickup for Acer. Tung Tung Sahur still stuck outside. Trying to rotate, maybe back up the stairs. He's thinking about it as Crimson and Shark try to push through. Tung Tung Sahur just waiting on the stairs. Does hear the drone, throws out an incendiary. Acer trying to get some hits off, but Valor just barely avoiding it. Jim still extremely low health. Tung Tung Sahur very low, but not too bad off. Still 56, could survive a couple body shots with a Spectral, as long as Valor gets a little sloppy with their gunplay. Incen goes down, she'll block off the push from Tung Tung. Shark and Crimson push into storage along with Red, which means Tech 9 gets taken down. That's the Taurus down. Incen goes down. Red Incenning himself, being taken out by Doga. 3-person hold from Acer onto the B point. Doga and Tung Tung pretty low. Shark the Fish trying to push through. Does take out Doga. It's just Tung Tung against these 3 Valor players, except for 2 of them are relatively low. We could just body shot them, but the double push from Crimson and Jims will secure them. Pistol round on Hideout. Well done to Valor. A good hold from Acer on the Garage that allowed them to get a good few hits off. Jims stayed alive, surprisingly, while being that low of health. 3 kills to him. Well done. Sorely missing a co-caster on this game. It'd be very nice. We do have a lot of these games where co-casting is really nice. If some of you want to be co-casters, I encourage you to apply to the VRML production team. You can do that in the support server. Right now, we're looking over production applications as we speak. Just put an application, see what you can do, or go into some co-casting, some community casting, rather, and apply next season if you don't feel comfortable right now. It's a good thing to do. Don't be afraid to put in an application. We're always looking for new people. Looking at the defense from Acer, an odd downstairs roam from Doga, most like trying to hold off on the A push. However, Valor seems to be going for possibly an off-meta B push, as we see Crimson up on hatch, window gets shot out next to A. Valor thinking about what they want. I believe they're somewhat confused. I'm not sure what went wrong. And Crimson, their IGL disconnects. Not quite sure what happened. Bot Nelson may get taken down if Valor's not careful. Crimson is going to have to come back pretty quick. Tech9 Jr. ready and waiting to take down Bot Nelson. Bot Nelson pushing up without fear. Gets taken out, but they do get the refrag at least. That's an even trade. Jims using the Vezin. Does get some good picks off. Nade goes out. Will not get any damage. Doga looks to push up the stairs. Kellen pushes around, takes out Pack God. That is a 3v4 for the Valor stack. Hotline behind Deathbox, getting droned out. Live pinged out. However, I believe Doga may take down the drone as well. Valor somewhat confused on what they want to do. Crimson does come back. That was a bit of a confusing disconnect. Seems like a confused Valor as well, as they had a player down. Jims holding on to an Omen, having passed the Vezin to Shark the Fish. Ready to push in. Lots of utility going out into the back of the point. Kellen waiting in the back. Same with Hotline. Tung Tung takes out Shark the Fish on the back line. EMP is now down with Jims having to reclaim it. Red coming around is going to info peek, sees Doga, but gets taken out. Now it's just Jims against an Acer 4-stack. Gets pushed in on, takes out one, but gets taken out by the triple push. That gets Valor down one round. Acer 1-1, and they do claim a Vezin, which is an extremely important pickup for them. Oh my goodness. We're going to be getting into this next round, and before we get into it, I want to talk about, currently we're seeing Valor somewhat buy very high. We're seeing sometimes they really do just buy all they can. They go as far in as they can, just trying not to lose too many rounds. We're seeing Acer go for somewhat the opposite. They have the money to buy up if they wanted to, but we're seeing Omens on Kellen and Tech9 rather than something like an Aril or something similar. They're splitting up a lot of their economy so that they can keep better money for future rounds. It's the difference in playstyle. We'll see who it works out for better. I think Valor is hedging on the fact that they're going to use superior firepower to take down this round. Tech9 setting up a clone, one of the new legalized gadgets in Garage, still very useful. Trips down Tung Tung and Tech9, hoping to hold down Garage from these Valor players on their push. Crimson on flank watch on the door, trying to take down anyone who tries to sneakily go around. Peeks in, can't see Tech9, can't see Tung Tung. They shoot at each other a little bit, but can't quite see each other. It's just a bit of blind fire, poking and prodding at each other's offense and defense. Tech9 looking to peek in as Pack God peeks around. May see the clone up on the box. I want to see some good pushes in. Valor a bit cautious on this Garage push, but you have to be on Hideout. This is such a horrible place to push for the defense, for the offense, if the defense is pretty stuck in. We do see Kellen taking out one with a nade. That's a good pickup. Red goes upstairs, maybe trying to hit a hatch as Pack God and Tung Tung trade some fire out. Crimson maybe trying to push up. There's no one in theater, so he could push up undaunted as long as he can just get in. Drone gets taken down. Crimson just going through the static. Gets taken out by Tung Tung. Unfortunately for him, he did get seen. Flash goes out, but a smoke goes out as well. Shark takes out one, trying to take another through the smoke. Trips do get taken down. It is a 2v4 for the Valor stack. Red is unfortunately, he's on the front door. Shark is stuck in Garage as Kellen pushes in along with Tung Tung. Red takes out one from out front, takes out two. It is now a 1v2, but gets taken out by Hotline from theater. It's a good push from Valor that unfortunately they just barely couldn't get out. Acer held down Garage, and this is the type of hold we want to see a lot of times. Sometimes I've been talking about some teams where they don't do entry denial. They don't really do this denial where you don't let them step foot in the building. And Acer is really good at doing that. So is Valor when they're on defense. They try to just make sure that the other team can't get any ground. I talked about this with Nightfire, I believe last night, when it was BLC versus Wilted Rose. Wilted Rose let up a lot of ground to BLC. BLC could just get any ground they wanted, push straight up. They could get to any wall, any door, anything they wanted because Wilted Rose was staying on point way too much. So we're seeing Acer put that into full effect. They're not letting Valor enter the building without contesting it a little. It's really good to see. Getting ready to get into round 4, 2-1. Definitely still recoverable for Valor. However, we saw with that very aggressive buy last time, Acer is going to be definitely very up on economy currently. Interesting spread from the Valor players going for a balcony push. Acer not doing a very aggressive defense. Hotline just somewhat going outside. No util, just with the rifle. Peeking it out. Some wall bangs go out. Drone coming out as well. Hotline, Kellen, and Tung Tung holding down A point. Meanwhile, Doga downstairs on the dedicated roam. Tech 9 rotating around from B to A. We're going to see a push from Valor. I want to see a good push. Foam goes down. Acer getting relatively aggressive up on the box. Hotline trying to get anyone trying to rush in. Crips are down, and I don't think Drone saw them, so Shark could get taken down if he tries to rush in too quickly. Crimson on flank watch. Doga very quietly coming in on the flank. May get taken out. That would be a very nice pickup, but Crimson is peeking the other door. He may not see Doga when he comes out. Doga just waiting it out. Peeks out, gets taken out. Well done there. Shark the Fish putting down the EMP, but Hotline peeks it out. No one was defending him on the plant. Tech 9 takes out Gems. Pack God gets taken very low as Red pushes up with the Spectral. Crimson, the only one with the Vezin currently, trying to contest with 4 other rifles through the smoke. He pushes up. Late round static goes down, preventing the EMP plant without being shot. Red in front of the smoke nearly gets taken out. Acer just putting a ton of bullets down range in order to deny this plant. It's a good game plan. They have a lot of firepower to work with. Crimson trying to do some blind firing, Hotline waiting. Acer knows they can wait out the plant at this point. They don't need to rush it. They don't need to push all the way up. They can preserve their numbers a bit. Acer playing uncharacteristically, somewhat passive, just waiting for the defuser to start being hit again. Crimson putting down the EMP. Incen goes out. Valor does bait it, but they don't have much time left. Here's where Acer is going to get a little more aggressive. They know that Valor doesn't have a lot of time to wait. Valor's going to have to do something if they want to win this round. Crimson pushes in. Does take out one, but gets taken out by Tung Tung. Tech 9 takes out Red. Pack God picks up a stem. May try to push out. He could try to pick up Crimson's weapon, but it's a risky business as Tung Tung, Tech 9, and Helen are all watching it. Pack God grabs it, repels outside. Will Acer try to push up? Acer heading out, maybe trying to reclaim it, but they do not peek the window. They may actually peek the window. They don't see his repel, or they probably would have. Valor down 1-3 against Acer. Not too bad of a situation to be in, but definitely not the best. Now, from the Valor offense, they did get pistol rounds, but what I very much want to see, honestly, what I very much want to see from the Valor offense is some really good, just meta pushes. Sometimes it seems like Valor has been stagnating a bit on their push because Acer is so good at defending it. So if Valor could play just a little bit more together, get the refrags, they could push in together. However, Acer has a very good point central defense so far. You know, typically they have been sticking on the point. We saw they were all on B except for maybe 2 roamers last time. We did have the garage roamers previously. Acer does not seem to be bothering with that now. You have Kellen upstairs trying to maybe do a pre-nade. Will not be watched by Valor. If pre-nade does go out, Does take Crimson down a little bit, but not too bad. Wall is foamed. Kellen now going for balcony peek. No Valor members are going to be visible unless Crimson repels just a little bit higher. Valor being very slow about their approach. Now going in through laundry. No one is upstairs. Valor seems to be going for double hatch play. Maybe just single onto storage. Not quite sure. Some wallbangs from Tech9 trying to take some people down. Kellen going for the rotate downstairs, not bothering staying up. Storage hatch may blow. Valor having a bit of a disagreement over a stim. Hotline and Tung Tung both on the back of storage could rotate through the door blocker. That's a bit of a thorn in Valor's side. Valor not knowing there are 4 Acer players within a couple footsteps of entering storage and blocking them off. Hotline hearing the footsteps down the stairs. There are some trips, which Drone did not get to see. Ensign goes down. We'll deny the Valor players for about 10 seconds, but it's not much. It'll buy Acer a bit of time to get good positioning, however. Crimson getting some good info peeks down. They do smoke it out. Nade goes down. Will hit none of the Acer players. Wallbangs go in. Do hit Crimson a little bit. Valor, again, somewhat stagnated on these stairs. They're trying to push down the stairs. At this point, they have 40 seconds. A storage push may work out a little bit better. Acer can just play the waiting game. Hotline takes out Jims as Tung Tung takes out Crimson with the trips. Doga takes out Red as Shark pushes down. Takes out Tech9, but Hotline cleans it up. That is Acer up 4-1 on Hideout. Clone in the corner attracting a bit of attention from Valor. That bought the Acer players time to push in. Suddenly, we're on the round before switch. 1-4, Valor has the potential to go 2-4 or 1-5. It depends on how Acer does with their full buy coming in. They do have quite a bit to work with in the terms of economy. Meanwhile, Valor down a lot of cash. They do have a Marui. They do have 2 Vezins, but it looks like the best they can do otherwise is a Spectral from Red, as he does buy a gun for one of his teammates. It's a rough situation over on Valor. 3-4 rifles and then just a pistol on Red. They're going to have to try to pick something up from the Acer side in order to compensate. Acer set up very well to win this round if they can get it off. Mid-floor is a tough floor to push as offense because of the garage hold, especially against Acer. Acer has such a dominant garage hold typically that we've seen against Valor. Tung Tung and Hotline both holding it down. We do have Tech9 over in Theater also trying to push up. Live pinging Tech9 out is going to be good, but Tung Tung already takes out Pat God. They do throw an Incense up on the box, but that will not quite hit. Crimson nearly goes down to Tech9 on the rotate. Valor down a member, unfortunately. 4-5. Tech9 is relatively low, but he does get stimmed up. The situation doesn't look good for Valor on the push-in currently. And, ooh, that nade will barely take out Shark the Fish. That is going to be a 3v4 for the Valor players to try to get this off. Minute 30 left on the clock. Valor's going to have to do something pretty drastic to get it off. It might take a point rotate. If they could try to rotate over to A, they could buy themselves a bit of time. Currently, they're stagnated on the garage push. Not much is changing. We're seeing Acer somewhat adapt their strategy on the fly instead of playing very aggressively, trying to push out. They're just waiting Valor out. They know Valor is pretty much going to stick to the same push. They're not going to really rotate off too much. Valor is pretty stuck on trying to get into garage. They know they can wait. Now we're seeing the rotate from Valor. Crimson going in on Theater. We do see Kellen in Theater. Now pushes out into the back of A. All bangs go out. Doga ready. Smoke goes down on the wall. Kellen also flanked out by the wall. Will get seen, but does take out Crimson. It's Red and Jims. Jims takes out one on Theater, trying to push in through the wall blow to protect his teammate. 2v2, Valor versus Acer. No information because of the smoke. Smoke goes down. Hotline takes out Jims. Kellen trying to take out Red. Bring her on the Rosie. But pushing from the front, pushing from the back. Acer takes this 5-1 heading into switch, going onto offense on Hideout. Rough half for Valor. It's going to be rough for them to get this back, especially now that they're on defense. Acer's had a pretty strong offense so far on most of the matches we've seen from them. We'll see if Valor can get this back. I do want to see it. I don't want to have round 1 or map 1 be over so soon, but possibly it will be. Now ready to get into it. Valor setting up on storage. Pretty simple. The standard defense for this floor, but it's what you're going to see a lot, and that's because it works. However, we don't see a similar defense as to what Acer did last time. Acer planted 2 people up in garage in order to block it off. Valor not bothering with upstairs roams at all. They will give up the hatch, but that'll give them a better, a better standpoint when pushing onto the players who try to rotate into storage. Shark the Fish in the corner. Tung Tung blowing the wall as Callan joins him, trying to get down any information they can. No drone on the Acer side from downstairs. Doga will be droning upstairs for his team to make sure there's no one roaming. Jims and Pat God holding down B. Shark in storage. Red and Crimson holding the stairs, trying to make sure Acer can't push down unexpectedly. Hatch will most likely blow relatively soon. Hatch is blown for storage as Jims and Shark watch it. Tung Tung and Kellen both look to push in from storage. A double push. B hatch is also blown. Doga may try to push in. Shark gets shot a little bit by Tung Tung, or I believe Kellen, which will reveal his position as well. Shark pushes down. Nade goes out. Shark is somewhat stuck in storage. He's isolated. Gets pushed in on by Hotline, but Red takes down Hotline, unsuspecting. Kellen may get pushed by Jims. Jims takes out Kellen. Jims takes out Tung Tung. Kellen takes out Shark with a nade, I believe from the hatch. It is Tech9 and Doga against a Valor 4-stack on defense. Tech9 is in the A point. Hopefully Valor checks their flank, but I mean, not many people would check that connector. Potential for a good amount of kills. Jims nearly gets taken down, but Tech9 misses a few shots. Has to play space out, and Pack God takes him out. Now it is just Doga trying to take down a Valor 4-stack. Pack God and Jims are relatively low. Doga has a good chance. However, Crimson up on Laundry will take out Doga, and that will give Valor their second round of the map. Well done to Crimson. Taking a look at that again, we saw Crimson on the flank coming out of Laundry. Now, it comes down to this. We saw Valor get both pistol rounds now. They got offense, they got defense. Now they need to continue that role. We see Valor immediately realizing we need to buy as much as we can. We see an Arill from Crimson that gets changed to an Omen. They need to get as much as they can, because if they lose another round, Acer will guarantee themselves overtime, which is a dangerous spot to be in, especially because you'll be down so many rounds. 4 rounds is not an insignificant amount. It takes a lot of work to get back from that. Seeing some interesting spots from Valor trying to take Acer a bit off guard. Acer with the push, very spread out, but typically a standard A push. Kellen up on balcony, Doga looking to push in downstairs. Again, no downstairs roamer for Valor, rather just having upstairs semi-roam. Jims by B, nade goes out from Valor that will not get any hits, but gives Acer some valuable information that they used a bit of utility. Doga waiting, watching the door, will get taken down by Crimson. Crimson pushes back. Acer trying to get some hits off as the wall opens up, but can't get any purchase. 5v4 for Valor. Acer thinking about a B rotate, it may seem like, unless Hotline is just on flank watch. Recovered the gun for their team. Red and B ensures there can't be a back point rotate like there was before. Hotline on a dedicated flank watch. Tung Tung looking to try to push in and possibly get the plant down. Jim's ready on shower window. Static goes down as well as nade goes out. See Tung Tung just trying to bait out a lot of utility from this Valor squad. Valor doesn't have much utility left to deny the plant as Hotline takes out Crimson. Red maybe trying to rotate out. Pack God takes out Hotline. 3v4 favoring Valor. Kellen on flank watch. May take out Red if Red tries to rotate out of the point relatively quickly. EMP going down again. Valor has to deny this by hand rather than using some utility. Red pushes in, takes out Kellen as he's not on flank watch. Tech9 gets taken out. Valor now 3-5 on Hideout and starting to snowball their economy a good bit. Now trying to get this off. Valor are up a couple rounds from where they were before, but Acer is going to start getting rifles in their hands next round, it seems. So we'll see if they can get it off. Acer opting for SMGs, a good spread. Mostly RCPs. Actually, most of the Omens now. They were going for RCPs, now down to Omens. RCPs, somewhat underutilized in the meta currently. They are, I believe, a 2-tap headshot from a good range. You can put a lot of bullets down range. It's a good idea to keep them off. However, you just can't deny the Omen is a fantastic pickup a lot of the time just because it's cheap, gets you a lot of money if you get kills with it, and it fires a lot of bullets at a time. We'll see if it pays off for the Acer stack. Valor going for mostly rifles as well as an Omen. We have a soft buy from Valor, almost a full buy if Red could get a rifle. Doga all the way upstairs. Some good wall bangs taking Red down to half health as Tech9 looks to push around downstairs, checking for a roamer, it seems. Tung Tung checking for anyone, kind of mimicking the offense on Hideout. We're seeing the meta push, other than Tech9 creeping up the stairs. Shark the cat, well, Shark the fish is going to have to be very dedicated on this flank watch. It seems he walks off, which gives Tech9 the opportunity to push up the stairs. Tech9 is now behind enemy lines, and Crimson is none the wiser. Crimson does get taken out. That is a Marui down immediately for this Acer stack. They're now pushing straight to A. Valor unsuspecting. Acer is getting straight into the A point as Shark throws out some utility. Nade goes down. Almost takes down Pack God, but Jims with the clutch takes out Kellen and Doga. Shark takes out Tung Tung. Tech9 trying to take out another. Does take out one. Red now on a 2v1. Gets taken out by Hotline. That is a thrifty win for Acer. We saw the clutch roam that worked out for Acer in spades. Full SMG buy, now into a full rifle buy on Acer. Valor with that gamble, unfortunately down to just 2 Maruis. The rest are SMGs. It all comes down to this. Will Acer get this 7-3, or will Valor continue on a 4-6, get a bit of a thrifty win? We'll see if they can. I'm excited to see it. This has been a great matchup so far. Looking at the scoreboard, Jim's 10-6, going double digits. Well done to him. 8-4 on Hotline 2.0 KD. Well done as well. We're seeing some fantastic plays overall so far. Especially, Valor has been trying to get this back, but Acer has been getting some fantastic offensive plays. But we'll see if it will continue as we get into round 10. Obviously, the standard B push. Crimson waiting on garage with a pre-nade. If the garage door does open, will be a bit of an unexpected one. Double drone coming out from the Acer stack. One downstairs, one upstairs. Crimson will get seen by the drone. Nade goes out. However, will not go where he wants it to. Instead, bounces on the outside. Red takes on Tung Tung through, I believe, a corner bang. A good pickup for them. Insen goes out. Doga, Kellen, Hotline, and Tech9 all watching on the lower gym wall. Pack God and Red both sitting here as well. Crimson still upstairs. Doga tries to go in, but Jims takes him out, almost takes out Shark as well. Hotline now rotates in. Nade goes out, will most likely take out Shark, but he barely survives. Jims does get taken out by Kellen. Acer, trying to get into a hotly contested storage area, will take out Shark, but PackGod gets Kellen in return. Kills going back and forth between these two teams. Can Acer get this off on a 2v3? Crimson on the back hallway. Hotline just waiting. He is cloaked, but Crimson most likely knows someone's in storage. Tech9 trying to get some info peeks down. They both have a long-range rifle. Valor still working with one Marui. The rest of them are on SMGs. It's a matter of patience. They just need to get some isolated picks over on Acer. If they can just isolate some players, they can get the numbers down to a more manageable size. However, if they can't, it's going to be rough. Tech9 will be going for the B hash blow. Red pushes into connector, which will allow Hotline time to push straight in if he wants to. PackGod may go for a bit of a lean peek. Hotline is just info peeking in. Doesn't see PackGod. Crimson's still waiting on back hall. PackGod just waiting. Does see Hotline. Tech9 pushes in, takes out one, but gets taken out by Red. Hotline trying to push up, now getting flanked by Crimson. And that is Valor claiming 4-6 over Acer. Can they continue this momentum? They now have 2 rifles to their name and may be able to pick up more with this loss bonus as well. They can pick up some Rills, maybe a Cadillo if they want to. Acer now in a similar situation as Valor was. They are down on a good bit of economy now. It's going to be up to Acer if they can get this off. See if they can. We just need these teams to hold on to their flank watch. We've seen Acer get some fantastic flanks so far on this matchup because Valor, they watch the flank, and they stop watching it. I feel like if you're up on players still, if you aren't down, 3 to 4 or something like that, you can leave a player on flank watch just in case someone comes up that staircase, just in case someone comes on the back hallway. We've seen it happen before against Valor, against Acer. So if they know it happens, I feel like they need to be denying it. Balcony door opening up, seeing a standard A push being set up by Acer. However, they may be faking it as we're seeing 2 players over by B. Jim's getting seen in bedroom, now pushes around towards the back of the point. Bottom floor roam from Tech9, looking to come all the way up the stairs, maybe checking for a roamer. Acer setting up for a, most likely, just a standard A push. Valor obviously expecting a standard A push as Wall does get foamed. Yep. Waiting on Wall to foam. Alright, Tung gets the Wall foamed. He does hold EMP. Tech9 maybe hoping to go through B. Hopefully Red watches his flank, as Tech9 will be right there on the outside of that door blocker. Acer, they know they have a little bit of time, but they don't have everything. Valor just hoping to hold down these points as long as they can, as long as they can time out Acer. That is a victory. Tech9 now rotating through on bedroom. Hotline nearly getting taken out by a nade, I believe. Tech9 somewhat blocked at all paths. There is a static down. There is a door blocker down. There's not much he can do to get into the point so far. A lot of play spacing coming in from these teams. Hotline throwing in an incendiary will push these Valor players back. However, Valor still has a good bit of utility to deny the plant. The more Acer runs down the clock, the more chance there is for them not to get it down. Crimson with the double kill on the nade will take out Hotline and Tung. Jims takes out Tech9. It's Doga and Kellen against a Valor 5-stack. Crimson with the clutch nade and Jims getting the kill as well. It's 10 seconds off the clock. It looks like Acer maybe going for a save. Kellen maybe trying to just edge into A. B and A wall blown. Kellen trying to push in, get some isolated kills. Crimson doesn't have his gun up, does get taken down, but Kellen nearly gets taken down in return. Doga takes out Red on the point. This is actually better now. A 2v2. Pack God takes out Kellen. It's just Doga who has EMPs, heading to get the stealth plant off, and B. Valor just waiting out the EMP. Good plan for them. Doga does take out Jims, but that is going to allow Valor to get to now 5-6. They have a good bit of money as well. However, they might not have enough to get all rifles. All right, folks. Potential for this to be the last round of map 1. If Acer wins this round, they'll win 7-5. They'll go on to map 2. If Valor wins this round, we'll go into OT, which was, if you've been living under a rock or maybe you just haven't tuned into one of these streams before, welcome. We have OT in Breachers over time, where if you get to 6-6, instead of it tying like it did in previous seasons, we do one more round where both teams have even economy, and the team with the highest amount of points so far gets to choose what side they want to be on. If Valor does get this round off, it looks like sorry, folks. If Valor gets this round off, it looks like we will have Acer still having their side choice, and most likely they would choose offense. They've had some fantastic offensive rounds. Sorry, they choose defense. They had some fantastic defensive rounds. Not offense. Acer's pretty well set up as long as they can just get this round off. They have a good amount of rifles. Both teams having relatively even economy, actually. Valor maybe edging them out just a bit with some Ruiz. All comes down to this round. Red, Shark, and Jims holding down B. Valor not bothering to hold down B from this Acer team. Acer fully claiming it. They were hoping, it seems, to have someone to take out in Garage, but Valor, knowing they might have better firepower, just waits it out. Wall goes down. Smoke goes down, but it doesn't actually go off. Doga takes out one, but Packdog gets the refrag. Everything's breaking loose on this B point. Hotline tries to get some takedowns. Red stuck behind bomb. Does see some clones. Smoke goes out, which will block off. That's a one-way smoke. Crimson tries to go in. Hotline may take out Crimson, but he barely doesn't get the hits off. Tech 9 on the flank watch, but Valor not bothering with the flank so far. 4-person hold on the B point. Valor. Crimson pushing out, trying to take out Hotline when he reloads. Takes out 2. Tries to take out a 3rd, but barely can't get it off. Kellen may get pushed in on. Kate gets taken out. It is now Tech 9 against a Valor 2-stack. He has a RCP, not the worst weapon to have in the situation, but 100% not the best. Stepping up with the clone. Gets taken out by Shark the Fish. And that will bring Valor to OT. Well done to them. We'll see what side they end up on. I'm guessing Valor is going to be on offense, Acer on defense. But we're about to see. Acer now on the offense, Valor. Sorry, Acer now on the defense, Valor on the offense. What we expected to see. Now, it all comes down to this. Even economy. Both teams know where the points are. It comes down to, obviously, the planning on the part of Valor, especially onto their IGL Crimson, and the planning on the part of Acer with their defensive gadgets and player placement. Most likely, we're going to see just a standard meta push from Valor, but I might opt for, as you hear this defensive utility going down onto the B point, I might opt for a bit of a stealth A push. We've seen Acer have 1 or 2 people off point, but they typically have been in Garage rather than over on Wine Cellar or near the A side. You could get a surprise push. Currently, there's only 1 person on point for the Acer side. So it could be a good pickup for them if they can just get this off. Valor, it may be a bit of a misplay to go for the meta push, but they're committed to it at this point. Wall is foamed. Shark looks to push into Garage. Tung Tung waiting it out along with Hotline. Valor knows there's most likely at least 1 player in Garage. There has been almost every time. Crimson pushes in. Almost get blind fired out by Hotline. Crimson and Hotline fighting it out. About to blow the wall. Hotline crouching behind the countertop as Shark takes out Tung Tung. Hotline stuck in point. does shoot out Red a little bit. Hotline takes down Crimson. Hotline still stuck in the upstairs point, getting shot by 3 players on Valor, gets taken down. That's a good trade for Valor, as now it is a 4v2. Acer needs to get this off. However, Valor needs to not get overconfident. They need to push together, play their numbers. If they give Acer isolated 1v1s, it will not work out for them. Play your numbers, Valor. And Acer, play your numbers. You can't play separate. If you play separate, you give Valor isolated kills rather than playing together, getting each other's crossfire. Tech9 going for a play space, gets taken out. Doga on the 1v4, stuck in storage. We'll see if he can get it off. Gets taken out by Valor. Valor with the clutch. 7-6 pickup. Valor taking Hideout. Well done to them. That was an exciting map 1. Unexpected for the connoisseurs. I believe there were 70-something connoisseur votes in favor of Acer, and only, I think, like 4 for Valor, and yet Valor's come out on top for map 1. We'll see you on map 2. It's going to be really, really exciting, folks. I hope to see you there. We'll be right back after a short ad break. Welcome back, everyone, to the Breachers VRML. I am, again, your host, Plague Doctor, here with Acer versus Valor on the VRML Network channel. We just got off an exciting map 1 for both sides. Valor clutching out, I believe, a 1-5 deficit up to a 7-6 victory. What an exciting turnout for this matchup so far. I'm excited to see what we'll see on map 2. It's going to be getting into it very, very soon. I'm seeing exactly right now what I wanted to see from this matchup. We've had some fantastic gunplay. We've had some fantastic utility. Valor has definitely stepped up their game on Hideout since we last saw them. They've gotten some fantastic picks against these players, and I just want to see a little bit more from this stack on the next map. Getting ready to get into it. I don't think we're going to have a timeout. We're just waiting on these players to get started. While we wait, I am extremely excited for VRMLCon. I'll be there. It's going to be exciting. July 25th through 27th, Phoenix, Arizona for VRMLCon 2025. It's going to be an exciting event. There's going to be a bunch of different games being played there. 20,000 overall prize pool for all the games. $5,000 each for many of the games. Orion Drift has a $5,000 prize pool. Breachers, $5,000 prize pool, which Triangle Factory has very generously given some money to. It's been exciting to work with these companies, and it's been exciting to work with the players who are going to be playing at Con. You can sign up for Con whenever, as long as you are going. You need to be going in order to participate in the tournament, but as long as you're going, you could have the chance to be on stage. For Breachers, the top 4 teams will be on stage. For Orion Drift, the top 16 teams will be on stage, battling it out for the prize pool. It's going to be a really exciting event. I hope to see you all there. We're just waiting on these players to get started, and we're going to be getting into our second map of this matchup, and it's going to be Arctic. Arctic is going to be a very exciting map to see. We've seen both of these teams have some great gameplay on Arctic, Valor especially. Arctic is one of those maps that has very clear meta pushes at this point. Arctic is something where you aren't going to see some really odd plays. You aren't going to see some, you know, weird off-meta push typically for these teams. You're going to see the standard plays. And Valor really excels at their meta pushes when they're having a good night. And it seems like they are tonight. They just had to warm up a little against Acer. They got that back after they were on the offensive side, and that's what you want to see. I mean, it's just really, really exciting to see these teams playing as well as they are, and I want to keep seeing it tonight. Now ready to get into this first round on Arctic. Acer on defense, Valor on offense. Doesn't look like we have any roster changes for Valor so far. Neither do we have for Acer, other than Jet coming in over on the Acer side. Getting some gameplay in. It's going to be nice to see Valor on their typical meta push for the downstairs of B point. Typically, they're going to have a flank watch up those stairs. That's the typical flank watch you'll see from a lot of these teams. You have one person drone in and check that back flank. Slow pickup for Valor so far. It seems they're waiting out this Acer stack, trying to see if Acer will maybe spread their players out a little thin. Valor now pushes in with drone. Hotline behind box. Kellen pushes up. Hotline extremely low. Nade goes out. Laos gonna push back, but he takes himself out with his own nade. Crimson going in to get the plant down. Some utility goes out from Acer to deny the plant. Tung Tung, Kellen, and Jet holding down B. Wall is blown. Valor now trying to get the EMP down. It's only a matter of time until they do, I would say. Acer's going to run out of utility eventually. Now sticking the plant. Another Incend goes out along with the smoke. Tech9 pushes up beside the box. Acer, knowing they've run out of utility, they're going to have to deny this next plant manually. Red checks flank, doesn't see anyone. Kellen, Tech9, and Jet all looking to be on the back hall. Kellen pushes around. A Shark takes out Jet. Kellen and Tech stuck behind the bomb, trying to deny the plant, but they just can't. EMP's down. 45 seconds left at most. Kellen on the back of the bomb takes out Red, but he's extremely low. So is Shark, however. Valor could just play the waiting game at this point, as Kellen is extremely low. Just wait him out. Don't give him an isolated 1v1. Crimson and Shark play their numbers. Take down Kellen. Valor takes pistol round on Arctic. Well done on both sides. Valor especially with that push-in. Like I was saying, Valor has some fantastic meta pushes on Arctic. Obviously, that was pistol round. We can't judge the entire game off of that. But we're seeing so far, Valor does have a plan for some of these pushes. Acer, however, is going to probably just get some good picks back in return, if I had to guess. It all comes down to this next round for the half, I would say, mostly. If Acer can get this second round off, they'll be able to even up the economy a bit. If Valor gets this round off, one, they'll get a good amount of money because of the picks from their SMGs. But two, they're going to have a good lead on economy. If they can get this down, it's a very thrifty round. If they can get this, they can start getting rifles very early. And we've seen Valor go for some very strong buys as soon as they can afford them. Tung Tung Sahur upstairs might find out he's going to get seen by Crimson a lot sooner than he was hoping. He did hear the rappel. Crimson is waiting in case someone tries to peek out. Red as well, watching downstairs. Tung Tung just waiting very patiently. Here's the drone go out. Not sure what he's waiting for. Possibly for another repel. Not quite seeing the strategy too often. Here's the repel again. Maybe waiting for someone to come upstairs. He hears Crimson out on the wall. Crimson might not think there's someone out there. Tung Tung may choose this moment. He chooses this moment to lean out and takes down Shark. Crimson probably kicking himself that he didn't wait just a second longer in order to take down Tung Tung on the push. Trying to take down one more player, but that will leave Acer up on players. Acer does not have a stim, however, so Tung Tung is stuck at that low health. Jet and Kellen both on this A point. Sorry, this B point. Trying to hold it down together. Hotline in the back hall will hold it down with them as well as he can push through without these Valor players seeing him. Wall goes down. Smokes go out. Crimson may try to get the plant down as multiple bits of util come out. That will be a little bit wasted. Acer is now out of utility. However, a fantastic blind fire from Jet will take down Crimson. That is EMP down. Kellen takes out Packard. Jim's trying to get some kills, but is unfortunately a bit too isolated outside that wall. It's Red. Takes down 2. Hotline Tech9 get taken down. Red does have the Omen. Needs to get some isolated kills. We do see Tung Tung on the back line. Red hopefully will watch it, but I'm not sure he will. No sound cues from the Acer side. Red having to go in blind. He does have EMP now. Tung Tung is on his flank, however. He doesn't know there's someone on his flank. Tung Tung could just push up right now. Red isn't watching. Red isn't watching. Red needs to check his flank. And Red gets taken out, unfortunately, by this stack over on Acer. And that is 1-1 on Arctic. Acer securing not really a lead on economy, but they've evened it up quite a bit, which is very good for them. Well done to the Acer stack for getting that round off. Losing pistol round can be a bit demotivating, but for a stack like Acer, they've played for such a long time, it's hard to see them getting that demotivated, especially just losing one round. I'd be surprised. Valor seems to be going for, most likely, just a meta top floor B push. Pushing in from windows over here. I'm surprised to not see probably Hotline down these stairs guarding the flank. I've seen that quite a few times from this Acer stack, but it seems like maybe they're changing up their strategy a bit, which Valor may get caught off guard by. Typically, there is going to be someone on that backstairs roam, but Acer seems to be somewhat abandoning that. Tim's held down on the window. Hotline up on the box. Drone goes out from Valor, checking every corner they can. They don't want to come in blind. Jins drops in on stairs, does pre-fire that backline push. Hotline and Green Hall trying to get this down. We're seeing the typical defense from Acer with a few people in Green Hall trying to hold it down from the push from Valor. Good, hold from these Acer players trying to hold down Green Hall, make sure that Valor can't claim any ground. That's what we want to see. Late round static goes down in order to block off the Valor push for just a second to allow Acer to get good positioning on the B point. Jim is foamed as Tung Tung is waiting outside the wall. Jet and Kellen waiting behind him to get refrags if they can. The longer Valor waits, the more time Acer has to get good positioning, but the longer Valor has in return to get more information on this Acer stack. Hotline and Tech9. Hotline waiting in, it looks like. Green hallway. Tech9 as well, over in cafeteria and mess hall. Drone will drone out Hotline. Not Tech9, just Hotline, which will give Valor maybe some bad information, unfortunately. As Crimson and Red push in, they don't know Tech9 is there, but Red takes down one. PackGod takes down Hotline as he turns around. Shark the Fish looks to try to push up, but gets taken out by Tung Tung. That is a 3v3 now for the Valor stack. 50 seconds left on the clock. Valor's all at full health. Jet may try to take a roam from A if Valor's not careful. Honestly, I'm not quite sure where Valor wants to push in. It looks like A side, as we do see some wall bangs from Jet on the Acer stack. Tung Tung and Kellen both still on B in case Valor tries to do a rotate. Red watching through the wall as Acer holding it down. Valor rotating back into the B point. Valor needs to get the plant down soon, as there is an incen on the Acer side. They can just deny this plant immediately. Valor pushing up, will be going for a bit of an odd plant location, which Acer might not be expecting. Plant goes down, Kellen and Jet push into the smoke. Pack God has to deny this plant alone. Kellen just sticking the defuse. Pack God pushes out, gets taken down by Jet. That will give Acer their second round of the map. Valor, unfortunately, on the rotate, maybe made just a bit too much noise, but I don't really know how they could have avoided making that much noise because of how little time they had. They had to run back towards the other point. They couldn't afford to wait it out. That is an unfortunate loss for Valor, but a great pickup for Acer that will give them their second round, and also a good injection of economy, because now we're seeing a full buy from the Acer stack. All rifles. Valor stuck down at SMGs and an Aril, now buying down to a Viper on red. Looking at the scoreboard so far, Acer pretty well up on kills so far, but Valor still getting a good amount. It's very even so far. If Valor can get this map off, that will be another 2-0 map victory for them. However, if Acer can get it off, we'll go to map 3, which most likely, if I had to guess, would probably be ship. Ship or dam sound likely to me. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Now we're seeing Valor forming up on their standard push downstairs. Acer not going for a top stairs roam, knowing that they really just need to hold down area outside. Jet, Hotline, and Tech9 just trying to hold it down. Drone goes in from Valor. They're definitely more cautious than they were on that first round they tried this push. Hotline with Bezin takes out the drone as Jims looks to push up towards the door. They now know they can at least get up to the wall uncontested. Wall is now taken down. Hotline tries to get some good hits off. Hotline stuck behind the box, does take out Crimson, trying to get some blind fires off. Smoke goes down again. Jims tries to take out another, gets taken out. Shark the Fish gets taken out, but Jims takes down one before getting refragged by Hotline. Hotline behind the box, getting some good picks off. It is Pack God and Red against a Acer 4-stack, one in the smoke. Could get a clutch kill off. Hotline takes out one from the smoke, pushes out, takes out Red. That might be a 4K on the Acer side. Acer now up 3-1 over this Valor stack. Getting a bit of deja vu, folks. This is what happened on the last time on Hideout. Valor getting pistol round, and Acer starting to get some rounds off after that. Folks, this has been an exciting match so far. We've seen both teams make some fantastic plays, but honestly, it's felt that Valor's been a little inconsistent with their plays. Acer has been relatively consistent with their things. They've missed a little bit, so has Valor, but Valor has seemed to have really good highs and really low lows occasionally. They've kept that under control for this matchup. Sometimes we see them really good rounds and then get all wiped out. They played very well this time, so has Acer. I'm excited to see how this match continues as we head into this 5th round. 3-1, not unwinnable for the Valor side. They could even it up to 3-3 to get to an even matchup. The economy is looking relatively bad for Valor because of Acer being up so many rounds as well as being just up so many rifles. Tech9 waiting behind the desk, taking a peek. Tech9 does get seen by the drone. Paco takes out Tung Tung. Crimson rotates out, takes out Tech9. That's an immediate 2 picks for the Valor side. Acer trying to compensate by doing some wall bangs that just barely can't get any hits off. Red rotates in, Jims rotates in. Most likely wall will be phoned relatively soon. Jims on a good flank watch, as we have seen the Acer players sometimes try to play space out and take out the Valor players. Hopefully Jims keeps watching that. Even if nobody comes out, it's a good one to watch. Meanwhile, we do have Jet, Hotline, and Kellen all trying to hold down the point. Both teams not really sure where the other is. Acer obviously knows Valor's outside their point. Valor most likely knows someone's inside the point, but there are some clones down, which will give Valor some trouble when they're trying to come in. A lot of utility dump will take out Shark. That's a good pickup for Acer, leaving them at a 3v4 rather than a 3v5. Hotline takes up Packgod. That's now a 3v3. Door blocker may get taken down, which would leave Acer in a bit of trouble. Crimson going for maybe an A rotate. Does check their flank. Somewhat surprised to not see Acer rotate over to A as soon as that Cox went off. Now we do see Hotline rotating towards A. Red takes out Jet. The next pickup. Smoke goes out, allowing Jims to enter into the point as Hotline takes out Red through the smoke. Or in the back line, sorry. Hotline nearly gets taken out. 45 seconds left on the clock. Acer doesn't have any utility to deny a plan. They have to do it with their own rifle bullets. Crimson shooting his teammate a little bit, but still doesn't die, thankfully. Valor 2-3. They do take down those players. See, the power of playing your numbers works especially well. 2-3. Valor has the potential to even this back up for their side. It's going to be an interesting one to see if they can. It's going to be interesting. So far, on the Valor side, we're seeing a bit of a soft buy. They can't quite get all Vezins and Maruis. We're seeing Packgod down to an Arill, as well as Red, I think, switching guns with him, giving Red the Arill, Packgod with the Marui. Meanwhile, on the Acer side, also all Vezins, other than the RCP in the hands of Tech9, will allow him to get some good shots downrange. He just barely can't afford to get a better weapon. We're going to see how Switch Round pans out. Will Acer be up 4-2, or will Valor get back to a clean slate 3-3, heading onto their defensive side on on Arctic? Hotline up on the box, trying to get a good peek off onto the window. Jim's not really bothering. I'm surprised to not see another backline check from these Valor players. Very dangerous roam, but it looks like Jims will be checking it just in case. Shark the Fish just rotating out, checking it. Green Hall being defended. Crimson noticing there is a clone at the end of the hall, but that is dangerous. That could be replaced by a player. They might go nade that out. Nade instead goes out onto the static. A lot of wall bangs from the Acer squad onto Jim. Red going for the drone, secondary. Tech9 on Cafeteria may get seen, along with Tung Tung Sahur may get seen. Tech9 behind the mess hall table will take out the drone, but does get live ping. Tung Tung rotating in to support him. Valor, knowing there's an isolated pick in mess hall, may try to go take him out. That's been Valor's MO so far. If they see someone isolated, they try to take them out before they can get reinforcements. Tactical mid-round. Clone goes down for Valor, hopefully to draw out some shots. Packgod on kitchen window, unknowing, doesn't check his corner, gets taken out by Tung Tung, nearly gets refragged. But unfortunately, Packgod just does not check his corner. Tung Tung still waiting, may get seen by Jims or Crimson. Hopefully they check their corners as Tung Tung is still lurking. Jet looks to rotate out, might get some hits off on him, but Tung Tung still waiting, not seen by any of these Valor players so far. Was able to even it up to a 4-4. Looks like Valor giving up on trying to pursue that kill. Valor needs to start baiting the EMP because Acer has a lot of utility currently to bait out. Do have an Incend going down. Plant does not go down, however. 30 seconds left on the clock. Valor might take a time loss if they're not careful. Hotline rotates back into the other point. No utility. Crimson does get the EMP down. Hotline, Jet, and Kellen trying to hold this down. I believe a flank is in order, but they do not get it off. Flank from Mess Hall does take out one. Kellen takes out another. It is just Jims against Tung Tung Sahur. He might get flanked out if he's not careful. He hears the footsteps. Just waiting it out. And does rotate out, taking him out and giving Valor 3-3 for this, getting them the even slate, heading on to their defensive half on Arctic. Want to ask, we're mid-game, folks. what do we think? What do we think are our predictions? Personally, for me, it's going to be interesting to see. We've seen Valor have fantastic defensive plays on Arctic, but we've seen Acer have equally fantastic offensive plays. I don't feel comfortable giving a prediction at this point. It's just been back and forth, back and forth. We're evened up now. The connoisseurs are in shambles. I saw some people in chat saying it's going to be a 14-3, it's going to be a 14-4 immediately. It was a 7-6 in favor of Valor on first map. Valor has guaranteed themselves either the win or a third map because of that first round, that first map victory. It's going to be interesting to see if they can continue this trend, if they can get a 2-map victory over Acer, if Acer can, adapt and get off this victory. Acer going for a standard push onto the hallway outside B, going for some info peeks with the snap turn. Crimson going for an interesting denial off top floor. Kellen will most likely be on the deny. He's going to be rappelling up, I think, in order to deny Crimson's roam down the stairs. Looks like he is. He will be able to see Crimson's feet if he rotates down. Crimson taking this relatively slowly. Wall is blown for the Valor stack as Pat God tries to get some denial. Valor needs to play their numbers at this point. If you give Acer isolated 1v1s, they'll typically win just based off of gunplay. You need to play your numbers, play some utility. Kellen comes in off of the flank watch, which means Crimson can come down the stairs undaunted. Tung Tung takes out Red. Hopefully Crimson can get that flank off before his team just gets taken out. Both Incense picked up. Incense goes down in order to block off the EMP plant. Second Incense goes down, trapping Tung Tung Suhor in the corner. Nade goes out. Will take out Kellen. Sorry, we'll take out Pat God. Shark the Fish takes out Hotline with his Spectral. Crimson on the roam, pushes down, takes out Jet, gets seen by Tech9, gets taken out. Now it is a 2v2. Valor just needs to play time at this point. Jims gets taken out through the smoke by Tech9, getting seen. Now it's just a fourth Shark the Fish against 2 full health Acer players. Not a situation you want to be in if you're on this team. Acer trying to bait out any utility. And Kellen takes out Shark, leaving Valor losing pistol round 4-3 versus Acer. Not unwinnable at all, but Acer could start running away with their economy if Valor's not careful. It's getting exciting, folks. We might see Valor get another round off. If we don't, it's still going to be pretty close, honestly, with this economy. Neither team really super far ahead because no SMG bonus. We're not seeing a rifle on either side. Currently, we're seeing some SMGs. Looking at the buys so far, we're seeing a lot of utility on both sides. Acer especially going for some throwable utility. Valor going for more defensive. We have a static down. We have a few other bits of defensive utility. Acer going for more of the meta push so far. We have Jet leaning around on top of the box, trying to get some early picks off. Red and Jims off point pretty far, along with Crimson. Maybe a bit of an ambitious play. Red may get droned out if he's not careful, honestly. It's going to be rough if he does. Door goes out, drone goes in, Red pushes out immediately, takes out Hotline, gets it taken out and returns. Jims, very aggressive push from Valor, immediately loses them. 2 players, 4 players now. It is just up to Shark. That was a bit of a gamble from Valor that makes it so that Shark now has a very rough game ahead of him, especially with the grenade to his back. EMP's already down. Acer recognizing their hold, and already Valor loses this round. That was a really, really interesting hold. That was a really interesting strategy from Valor. It could have worked, but I'm not sure if now is the time to do it. They were down a round, especially on this close. Now Acer's 1 round away from guaranteeing themselves OT. That was a big gamble on the Valor side. Sure, Red being in there, that's fine. Red rotates out because he's getting droned. He gets 1. Great. Almost the rest of the Valor team rotating out. I don't know. It seemed like a very risky play that just did not pay off. And now that leaves Valor at a definite disadvantage when it comes to their weaponry and their economy overall. Acer going for a pretty good soft buy, nearly a full buy. I don't know. That might have been maybe the deciding factor if Valor's not careful. Jet on Repel, trying to block off anyone coming from downstairs. Jim's waiting by the door as his back turned to the open window. Does get taken out by Jet as he didn't have his gun up, unfortunately. Now, Theater is held by the Acer players. However, Green Hall is firmly held by Valor currently. Tung Tung Sahur neither gets taken out by some good shots from the Valor side. Secondary drone coming out. Kellen nearly gets taken out by Crimson on the stairs, but Crimson is very low currently. Red gets live pinged out over on Jim. He really should just rotate back to Green. He does, thankfully, get back inside, but Crimson does take out Kellen on window. Crimson stuck on back stairs. Not the worst place to be, but definitely not the best. Trying to get some hits off as Jet takes out Patka. Nade goes out. Crimson's pushed out, but gets taken out by Hotline. And Shark, the Fish, and Red trying to take down just Hotline. Hotline trying to push up. He's on Repel. It is Shark and Red against Hotline. Hotline does have a Vezin as well as a Cloak. However, Vezin and Marui are picked up by the Valor squad as well as a Stim. Acer could go for a bit of a cheeky save. They're up a few rounds. Acer doesn't have a ton of money to work with. They're also down a player as Bot Simona comes in, so a save could be in order for this Acer side. While it looks like they are saving, I want to look at the chat. We do have Rexy Alt 4, Alfred, Ice Beast, Wizdy, I Adapt, D Moonjay, Azakranov, and I believe Lonk as well, and Blossom Hard inside the chat watching these two teams play. It's been exciting so far to watch. Acer going for the save, definitely. While we wait, I want to take a quick look at the matchups page for these teams on Arctic, a bit of a mid-game matchup look at. Acer on paper favored to win Arctic because of their 59% win rate for rounds. But Valor not far behind, 52 rounds, 50% win rate. That's a lot of rounds to win for a 50% win rate. Well done to them. 5-4 record, 7-2. Acer won 14-7 last time, and already Valor has blown that out of the water, winning a map already. We're now going to get ready to get into the next round. Round 10 for these teams. Acer not having a lot of money to work with. Valor going into this with a full buy, trying to get back to a 5-5 even matchup. Can they get it off? I hope they can. I want to see a third map. Rather, I hope Acer can get this off with a thrifty buy, get to a third map. 2 maps. Might not be fun, but I think Valor is definitely hoping just to get 2 maps. We'll see if they can. Would be exciting if they can. Would be a bit of an upset, I would say, because of the last time these two teams faced off. Acer, a bit of a patchwork buy, 2 Vezins, an RCP, and 2 Omens. Meanwhile, Valor going for the standard mix of of Maruis and Vezins, as well as a good bit of utility. We're seeing both teams using utility to its fullest effect this time. Maybe not as many kills as some people would like to see, but I personally like this usage better than just getting a ton of kills. Using it tactically, making sure you can deny the plant is a lot better to me than just using it to get a 1 kill for 400 bucks. Valor, again, pretty far off point. I think Acer is anticipating them running out like they did last time, but Valor seems to have learned their lesson a bit from their push-in before. Getting some pretty aggressive info peaks on. Live droning out a clone. Hotline thinks about pushing in. Looks like he just waits. Acer relatively spread out on their offense. I see all of their players trying to push up towards B. Pretty standard meta push onto B. Wallbangs going out from the Valor side. Crimson does take down Kellen, but is going to get wallbanged quite a bit. Barely survives, barely doesn't get taken down. That's Acer down a player. Valor full health. Almost taking out Hotline through the wall as well. Acer about to open this point up like a tin can. Hotline tries to peek out. Crimson takes out one before getting taken out by Hotline. Tech9 pushes into the back of the point as Util gets dumped either direction. Tech9 maybe going for the plant as we do see him crouch into the corner. Jet takes down Shark. Incen goes straight to Jet's feet. Fake plant going down as Gems takes out Hotline. It is now a 2v2 for these teams. Acer opting to take down these players rather than go for the plant may surprise Valor. Door blocker seems to be a bit of a contentious point. Jet puts his gun down and gets taken down. It's now just Tech9 who gets taken out by Pack God. Valor taking 2 rifles and 3 stims into the next round. And still, because of that buy on Acer, they're going to be down a good bit of money again. They're going to get 3 rifles, most likely. 3 Vezins, yes, and then 2 SMGs. Valor setting themselves up with 2 Vezins, 2 Maruis, and an Orill. Not a bad buy for them this round. I don't know, folks. If Valor can get this round off, they'll set themselves up well. But if Acer can get this round off, they're going to have that winning economy and go into the next round with very good economy, unlike Valor, who they're not going to be set up well if they get taken out. It all comes down to this and the next few rounds. Acer going for a relatively standard B push. Valor going for relatively standard B defense. We have some on Green Hall. Not a lot of defensive utility. No statics down. Not really any trips down. Not quite sure what the plan is on the Valor side to deny entry to this green hallway. Jet on window. Hatch gets blown. Holland going for some pre-fires. Drone goes down to Valor as Tung Tung Sahur are waiting in case someone's on the back line. Crimson getting very bold with his push-up out of Green Hall, but does not get taken out for it. Acer very cautiously moving up. Stairs are checked by Kellen. Tech9 opens up the window. Jet and Jims might get in a firefight if they're not careful. Green hallway still contended as Crimson is waiting with a bit of utility that's primed. Nades get traded between these two teams as Hotline pushes back towards Mess Hall. Jim standing on the desk is ready just in case as Crimson is holding down Green. He's isolated if Acer can just get in. Wall is foamed for this Acer matchup. Trying to just get into the point. There's one player on B currently for the Valor stack. Valor is extremely spread out. If Acer can identify that with a drone or other bits of information, like possibly an info peek, that would give them a great up for their side. They push up towards Green. They isolate Green. Crimson takes out one, but gets taken out by Tech9. Jim's peeking out. Takes out another. Takes out two. Tech9 almost gets taken out as well. That is now a 4v2 for Valor. Valor needs to play patiently. Don't get overzealous. Packard coming through the smoke. Takes out Jet. Takes out Tech9. And now Valor has guaranteed themselves at least OT. You can see that kill. Packard lurking in the smoke. Took out Jet. Took out Tech9. Well executed. Obviously, he heard the footsteps going away. Maybe heard the reload and decided to push out. Well done on Valor playing their numbers. They had two people pushing behind him. It all comes down to this. If Valor can get this victory, they're going to win both rounds over Acer, or both maps over Acer. If Acer gets this, we get to the same situation as last map. Overtime for these two teams. And it looks like we most likely would have Valor choosing their side. It all comes down to this. Bottom floor is not the worst floor to have if you're Acer at this point. You have a good amount of weaponry. You have a good amount of utility. However, Valor has the same. Valor has all the utility they could want to deny this plant. They can stall at least a good 30 seconds with utility alone. It's going to take a lot of bait from Acer. They're going to have to try to get EMP down relatively quickly. Drone will go out from Acer, most likely. Tech9 droning in. Crimson tries to take out the drone, but the drone pushes through. Hotline going for some blind fires, not getting any hits off. Crimson getting some very aggressive info peaks. No one to get his refrag, however. So he could get taken out with no recourse if he's not careful. Jet with the beam peak. Crimson nearly gets taken out by some opportune wall bangs, but barely makes it back. Wall does get foamed. Tung Tung Suhor might not know there's crypts there. Trims do get pinged out. Wall is down. Acer has 1:50 on the clock to get the EMP down through these bits of utility, through the static, through everything else. There is still an incent and a frag on the side. Crimson pushes out, takes out one, pushes through smoke, is taken out by Jet, but EMP is down in the corner. Some wall bangs taking out a lot of players. Nade goes out from this Valor stack. Static is still down. Acer focusing on picks typically more than the plan, it seems, at this time, trying to whittle down these Valor players. Valor needs to play this a little less aggressively. They just wait for the EMP to go down. Jet looking to rotate in and try to put down, looks like a smoke or possibly a nade into the back. Now EMP going down. Red throws out the incendiary. Red pushes around, using this opportunity to rotate where he can shoot more easily at the person with EMP. Valor trying to hold down these points. They know they have time on their side. They just need to not give Acer any unwilling 1v1s. Tech9 ready up on the plant as Jet tries to defend. Red could rotate out and try to take him out. Red pushes up, takes out Jet, takes out Tech9. It's just Kellen against a Valor 3-stack. And that is Valor claiming the series victory 7-6, 7-5 over Acer. Bit of an unexpected victory when it comes to the connoisseurs. Hideout, one of maybe their weakest maps on last season, and Arctic, one of Acer's strongest. We see Acer immediately disappearing. But Valor winning on a 7-6, 7-5 victory. Well done to them. That is insane. Well done to Valor, well done to Acer, well played on both sides, but Valor just really had it going today. It was scared for a while on that first map as Valor was down so many rounds, but they really got it back to OT and denied the OT to Acer on this second one. Well done to them. That is crazy. 2 maps over Acer. That is the number 1 team versus the number 4 team that now Valor has defeated. There might be a good bit of elo for the Valor team, good bit of MMR for the Valor team. But regardless, during this matchup, we saw some fantastic gunplay on both sides. Valor has definitely stepped up their game as of recent, but so has Acer. Acer are no pushovers. It took a lot for Valor to get these rounds off. We saw why they were the reigning champions for these last few seasons. The IVI got last season, but Acer was the reigning champions before. And they may continue to be if they continue on this pace. We saw some fantastic util that we're seeing flashing up on these replays on the other side. But again, Valor pushing out had some fantastic opportune pushes that they took through smokes and just around corners, making sure they could get some picks off. Hotline, unfortunately, saw with that nade in that clip. But overall, well done to both sides, but especially well done to Valor for getting off the 2-map series victory over Acer, and for Acer for really fighting for those rounds. They got to OT on the first map. It's been just a fantastic match to watch. I'm so glad I got to share it with all of you. Before we sign off for the night, I do want to take a quick moment to thank our sponsors for the VRML. First of all, Triangle Factory for bringing us this beautiful game. They brought us Breachers. They brought us the Spectator client that I'm showing you the game on right now. Additionally, they have provided us the VRML skins. First of all, the official VRML skin in the store you can get right now for your Vezin. Additionally, the finalist skins that you can get every season if you are a season finalist for the VRML. As well as they've contributed to the $5,000 Breachers prize pool for the con this year. $20,000 overall for the con. 25th through 27th of July, 2025 in Phoenix, Arizona. Get your tickets now. It's going to be an exciting, exciting event. I do also want to thank HyperX for their fantastic computer peripherals. They have mics, they have headphones, and everything in between. Fantastic for your gaming needs or just for everyday use. Bob uses HyperX peripherals. Nightfire uses a HyperX microphone as well as a few other peripherals. They've been fantastic to work with. Thank you all for using them. It's been fantastic to work with them as well. Additionally, ProTube for all of your headset needs. They have stocks. They have everything in between for your headset. They are a fantastic resource to use to up your gameplay in VR. Also want to thank, a special thanks to you, the viewer, for watching. It's been fantastic to share this with you, to go through these seasons. It's been 8 weeks, going on 9 weeks of casting for the VRML, and it's been exciting every single day. Thank you for letting me share this with you. It's been exciting to have you all on the channel today and every other day on the VRML network. Hope you all have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you on the next cast in the next week. Goodbye.
Reacher's VRML is brought to you by Helga, the esports manager, Triangle Factory. Thanks for watching VRML.